All right, so today we are going to be graphing, okay? And so I'm going to be using the whiteboard.chat app with you guys a lot when we're graphing because they actually have graphing backgrounds. That way you guys can practice this and you don't have to draw a graph every time you need to graph something, okay? So a couple of things I want to remind you about. So remember, this axis is our x-axis, okay? The horizontal line is the x, and the vertical line is our y-axis, okay? So over here, I want to graph the origin and then these 3 points, okay? Now, before I do that, what I want to do, well, I can do the origin. Remember, the origin is where we start. That is the beginning, right here. Okay, that never changes. That is 0, 0. Okay, that's my origin. And where I start graphing is right there. Okay, now one thing that I want you to remember, since we're dealing with just this quadrant and it's positive, positive, that we always want to go over and then up. Okay, and that's because the x coordinate comes before the y coordinate. And if you get confused on that, think about your ABCs. When you're doing your ABCs, the x is before the y, right? So we always do our x coordinate before the y. So in the positive, positive, that means I over and then up, okay? If it helps you, when you have an ordered pair, you can put those as a reminder, okay? See how I'm putting over on the first part of the pair and then up on the second, okay? I'm going to show you why that's important. So I want to put a letter A at 1, 3. So I'm going to start here, and if each of these squares is just 1, I go over 1, and I go up 3. So I'm going to place A right there, okay? I want to place B at 4, 5. So I'm going to count over 1, 2, whoops, my line moved. That's weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, and go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's my B. Okay. Now I want to do 2, 7. Starting at my origin, I go over 2, and I go up 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. So my C is right there. Okay, now I'm going to show you why that is so important. If I can figure out how to change my color on here. I'm still working with this one. I don't think I can change my color. Okay, well, that's all right. So if I am doing it the wrong way, okay, instead of going over 1 and up 3 for A, if I went up 1 and over 3 for A, here I am. Okay? And you might say, well, Mrs. Higby, it's not that big a deal. It's not that far away. Well, here's a little context for that. What if this is a map? Okay? So normally when you have a map, it does have a grid like you see on here. Okay? And what if every single one of these squares, okay, is really a square mile? Okay? That means that every one of these, if I'm going from 0 to 1, that's 1 mile. And then I go up 1, 2, 3, that's 3 miles. Okay, so let's say A is my house. Okay, and that's where I want to be. I want to be at my house. And I'm starting here at the school. Okay, and instead of going the right direction, I went 1, 2, 3 miles and then 1 mile up to this A, the second A, okay? Well, guess what? That's 2 miles out of the way, okay? So I am now 2 miles away from my house, all right? So graphing it correctly matters, okay? It may not seem like that, but it really does. When we take a graphing situation and we put it into a real life graphing situation, it absolutely matters, Okay, so we're really going to be focusing on making sure that we're saying the process, like describing the process as we do it. Okay, so now I have another problem that I want us to look at. We're going to do a couple of these in this video. Okay, so it says in 1 and 2, write the ordered pair for the point, use the grid. Okay, so I'm looking at the grid. I see I have an x-axis that's going by 1. I have a y-axis that's going by 1, which, by the way, the word for that is interval. Okay, so each of these lines, the interval right now is 1. Okay, and so I need to find the ordered pair for A. Okay, remember, ordered pairs are written in parentheses with a comma separating them. That is the special way to write an ordered pair. If you do not have the parentheses or the comma, then it's not really an ordered pair. Okay, so I'm looking at A. Well, ooh, there's something special about A. Okay, A is right here where we start. Okay, so remember that's called the origin, right? So A, the origin coordinate pair, ordered pair, is 0, 0. Okay, and so then I need to find B. Well, remember, when I'm graphing in this first quadrant, I go over and then up. So I start at 0, I go over, so it's 3 right here, right? So my first ordered pair is 3, and then I go up. Well, this is over 2, so the ordered pair there is 3, 2. Okay, now on this next problem, 3 and 4, they want me to graph and label each point on the grid above. Okay, so they're telling me to put a C on point 1, 4. Okay, so again, if it helps you, draw your arrows over and then up. So I'm going to start at the origin. I'm going to move right 1 place. Then I'm going to move up 4 places. So C is right here. Okay, same thing with D. If it helps, put your arrows. I'm going to go over first and then up. So I go over 5, then up 3. And that is where I put D. Okay. So looking at this question, number 5, you are graphing point E at 0, 5. Do you move right 0 units or up 0 units? Explain. Okay, so remember when we first started talking about our definitions, the first one is our x-axis, right? Is our x-coordinate. The second one is our y-coordinate. Well, remember what we did with our arrows over here. The x-coordinate is to the right. The y-coordinate is above. Okay, so they're telling me it's 0, 5. If I place my arrows here, okay, it's asking, do I move 0 units to the right or do I move up 0 units? Well, because the x-axis is first, that means I do not move on the x-axis. Okay, so when I see a 0 like that, I actually don't move over. Okay, so instead of moving on the x-axis, I don't move at all. Okay, what I want to do is go up 5. So 5 is here. So I would put point E right here. Okay, if they had a different one, let's say I want to put point Z at 5, 0. Okay, again, over, up. So I'm going over to the right 5 units, and then I do not go up at all. Okay, so I start at my origin, I go over 5, but I don't go up at all. So point Z would be right here. Okay? And then number 6, what ordered pair names the origin of any coordinate grid? Well, we did that here. The origin is always 0, 0. Okay? We're going to be doing a lot of describing, okay, telling how to graph. So this wants me to know if I have K right here, this is K, okay, how would I graph that? Okay, well, first, start at the origin, right? Because we always start at the origin, okay? Then I want to move right. The x-axis is 5, right? Move right 5 units. And then move up 4 units. Okay, so if we have a question that's asking us to describe how to graph, we need to be using those types of vocabulary words.